The USA Grand Prix race ended in a really messy way because of Fernando Alonso. He managed to finish in 7th place even though he had problems on the track after he crashed with Lance Stroll. But Alonso couldn't be happy about his awesome race. Because his team wants to argue with the FIA is like the boss of racing rules. They gave Alonso a 30-second penalty after the Haas team complained about something. So what does Alonso think about this whole mess? And what does he say about crashing with Stroll, which is basically what started this whole problem? After the safety car went away and racing started again, Alonso tried to pass Lance Stroll. Stroll had been having a really great race until this happened. After an amazing start, Stroll was able to move up to 3rd place and got ahead when Russell and another driver crashed. But Russell quickly passed him back. The crash happened when both drivers were going really fast. It's pretty clear that Stroll messed up because he moved to block Alonso way too late. Alonso couldn't see this coming, even though maybe Alonso could have moved to the left side earlier instead of staying behind Stroll for so long in his slipstream. But we can't change what happened, and Alonso was lucky that the crash didn't hurt him or his car too badly. Well, the FIA says the damage to his car was actually pretty bad because his right mirror was missing. The mirror is like safety equipment that drivers need to have. The FIA has a rule that says if any car has a dangerous broken part, they have to show a black and orange flag. This means the driver has to go to the pit stop right away and fix that part of the car, or quit the race, if they can't fix it. This has happened many times to Magnussen, and believe me, it's really annoying when you have to make a surprise pit stop. This is why Haas was really serious about following the rules exactly, which made Magnussen lose points several times this season. The rear mirror fell off right when Alonso was passing Magnussen, and the American Haas team was really pushy about complaining about Alonso's car. Haas's boss Günther Steiner says he doesn't have anything against Alpine or Alonso because they also complained about Perez's car being illegal. Perez lost a piece of his front wing after crashing with Bottas, and you could see the end plate was loose after just a few laps. The end plate literally flew off and Perez lost a lot of downforce. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. For me, the rules need to be the same for everyone. The FIA is supposed to make sure the rules are followed, and they need to be consistent. If there's a mirror missing and the rule says you need to have 2 mirrors, you can't just say, we had an accident, there's only one, you still need to have 2. Sometimes they say it's okay, sometimes they say it's not okay. We need to figure out a way to make it always okay or always not okay, so you know what you're doing. That's why we're trying to find out if the rules are being applied the same way every time. At least we're working on this for the future. In our opinion, the rules say you have to have 2 mirrors. It's pretty simple. There was only 1 mirror. How we lost it, I don't really care. We saw it moving around and then they should have given a black and orange flag. Then it flew off and then the driver should be kicked out because he doesn't have safety equipment. It's the same as if your headrest comes up. You need to get out. But the FIA did handle this the right way because Alonso definitely shouldn't drive without a rear mirror. This means he can't see what's coming up on his right side, and his actions would be really dangerous. So the car was really unsafe to drive, and even though it was just a couple of laps, rules are rules, and everyone needs to follow them. Alonso says these kinds of decisions have a huge effect on how the rest of the season goes, which is why he supports his team fighting against the FIA and complaining about their final decision. When talking about this, Alonso said, "Thanks for all the messages I got yesterday and today. It's one of those rare times in sports that I feel we're all thinking the same thing and have the same opinion about the rules. So Thursday is an important day for the sport that we love so much, and this decision will decide if we're going in the right direction for the future. Thanks again for all of your support." But besides that, what does Alonso have to say about the crash? It's pretty obvious that Stroll was the one who caused what happened, and Stroll himself said that it was his fault for defending too late. But he also said that it's not his fault that Alonso crashed into him, and that it was Alonso's front wing that hit his rear end. I definitely moved late, but there was a big difference in speed. I was trying to guess more or less where he was. Behind me, but it's not like I hit him on the side of his car. The crash is still the front wing hitting the back of my car. I gave him plenty of room on the left side of the track, so it's not like I squeezed him or pushed him against a wall. He could have moved earlier and gone more to the left. He didn't have to get so close to me either. So there's a lot of different ways that you could look at what happened. It was a shame, it was close wheel-to-wheel racing, and unfortunately we just made contact. Alonso wasn't really angry at Lance Stroll, probably because Stroll's father is going to be Alonso's boss next season. So with 3 races left, Alonso wouldn't want to start any kind of fight that could possibly hurt his spot at Aston Martin and the relationship that got him there in the first place. But one ex-driver who definitely had strong words when it came to criticizing Stroll for what he did was Jacques Villeneuve. He thinks the 3-place grid penalty that Stroll got at the end of the USA Grand Prix is way too small, and he should have been banned from one race as a real punishment for what he did. When talking about this, Jacques said, "We had a pretty exciting race in America, but not always for the right reasons. We saw a bit of everything, amazing driving, but also dangerous moves and drivers who drove badly. It was a mix of anything and everything, but that's what this show is all about. When I talk about dangerous driving, I'm talking about Lance Stroll. He should be banned for one race for the Fernando Alonso crash. The FIA have been way too easy on drivers in both Formula One and lower racing classes when drivers swing out on the straight. That's the most dangerous thing there is, and the last thing you want to see. It's pathetic and extremely dangerous. By swinging on the straight, you put other drivers in danger, possibly deadly danger, because you can cause a huge accident like that. And that's because you choose to do something like that on purpose, not because you're making a mistake. So, it's really not okay." Alonso said that things aren't bad between him and Stroll, and that their team bosses were the ones who were arguing really hard in the steward's room. On top of that, he did agree that Stroll was the one to blame, but at that point nothing much could have been done because the cars were going so fast and just a tiny move of the steering wheel would make your car move 200 meters. Honestly, when you see the thing on TV, I think it's a racing incident, to be honest. We both moved basically at the same time to the left, and that was what caused everything. So, I think it was a very unlucky moment for everyone. But now, it's up to us to wait and see if the FIA's decision will be changed after Alpine's complaint. You can be sure that Magnussen wasn't happy with the decision that the FIA made about Perez either, since he was penalized multiple times and was punished with a black and red flag for driving without a front-end plate. Even though he managed to get a better result thanks to the penalty given to Alonso, he said that the FIA needs to do a better job and penalize all of the drivers that are making mistakes, not favor some of them. With that being said, what do you think about Alpine's big complaint to the FIA? Let us know in the comments below.